The Baltimore Orioles have a golden opportunity this season. With the talent they have on the roster, will this be the year that they finally make a deep playoff push? We have more news, all of that coming up next. Welcome to Orioles Digest. I'm your host, Kam Brice. And like I said in every video, if you're a part of this percentage, let's change that today. Come join Orioles Digest. We'll give you daily updates about the Baltimore Orioles every single day that you don't want to miss. Now, there is one Baltimore Orioles player who is expected to have a breakout season. And in a recent article, he talked about what he expects for this upcoming season. For a phone interview with the Baltimore Banner, Heston Kjerstad said, "Last season, it showed the type of player he's capable of being, and the type of player I strive to be." Kjerstad said in the phone interview, "Once you're able to do that, you know it's there. Now, it's the consistency of doing that a lot more, because that's the name of the game, consistency. Everybody can take the good at bat or hit a home run here and there, but the guys who are day in and day out in the lineup every day, really impactful players show up and do that the most, and that's the goal for me." So in this video, we're going to take a deep dive into all the spring training headlines. We're going to talk about Gunnar Henderson, Jackson Holliday, and of course, Heston Kjerstad. But let's get to the first topic of the day. Big year on the way for Heston Kjerstad. A couple years ago, Heston Kjerstad was the Orioles' best prospect, and everyone had high hopes for him. We all thought this will be the succession plan after Ryan Mountcastle leaves. Now, Ryan Mountcastle is still with the team. Toby Mayo is now up, and it's looking like other prospects like Jackson Holliday, Enrique Bradfield Jr., and Samuel Basallo have an upper hand on Heston Kjerstad. And Kjerstad hasn't been able to be consistent in the MLB. Well, it is true that he hasn't been given opportunities like most guys, but he's also been hurt. So he's dominated in Triple A, he's dominated in Double A. But when he comes up to the MLB, he's just lack of opportunities in the outfield. And now that Anthony Santander is gone, this could possibly be the year that we see Heston Kjerstad break out. I know all off season there were numerous of trade rumors, Dylan Cease, Michael King, Luis Castillo, about the Baltimore's potentially doing a trade and involving Heston Kjerstad. Now, this is the year that we're going to see Heston Kjerstad give multiple opportunities every single week. It's no more you get a bat here, pinch hit the next day, and then you get sent back down to AAA. They only have one more option for him left. And I know that's kind of crazy for a guy who has never played in the MLB, and you only have one more option. I mean, he played in the MLB, but you know what I'm saying. He wasn't consistent enough. So I think this spring training will tell the deal. Now, Kjerstad's been playing very well, been playing very good in the outfield. Now, if he can continue this and go into the season as the Orioles' good bench player and that fifth outfielder that you could put in any situation that will succeed, I think we could possibly see him hit around 15 to 20 home runs. He will get over 200 at bats this season. But my question is, what are you going to do with these opportunities? This is a make it or break it year for Heston Kjerstad. The Baltimore Orioles did not trade him this offseason. They put the trust in him. So it's time for Heston Kjerstad to take advantage of all his opportunities. But I have high hopes for Heston Kjerstad. I think he can be a star in this league. He just has to prove why he belongs in the MLB. But let's get into our next topic of the day. We have some heartbreaking news involving the Baltimore Orioles and Gunnar Henderson. In Thursday's spring training game, Gunnar Henderson left the game very early in the bottom of the first inning. And when the news broke out from reporters on Twitter, everyone was freaking out. Me, on the other hand, I wasn't, because remember last spring, Gunnar Henderson came in with a left oblique injury and it was nagging him throughout the whole season. Now, this year, they did not want that injury to even go any further into the season, so they took him out for precautionary reasons. The MRIs came back safe. He just needs rest, including Jordan Westberg, who's dealing with back stiffness. Now, this could possibly be a big thing for Gunnar Henderson because the Baltimore Orioles need this guy healthy every single game. He only missed 2 games last season, and the Baltimore Orioles need this type of player, this superstar generational guy every single game for them to have a chance at a playoff race or even a World Series hope type of team. Now, I wouldn't take considerations that this is a huge loss. Gunnar Henderson will be resting for the next couple of weeks. We probably won't see a lot of him this spring training. Just get him ready for opening day. But guys, relax. Gunnar Henderson is not season-ending injury. He's not going to be in the IL. He's just going to have to rest. And I think the Baltimore Orioles took him out so early And it kind of had fans reacting like, wow, why would you take a superstar guy out so early in the bottom of the first inning? Is he going to be hurt? Is he going to be put on a 60-day DL? No. The Baltimore Orioles are doing their job of keeping their players healthy. The same thing they're going with Jordan Westberg. They're just trying to keep these guys healthy right now because you don't want them to go into the season with lingering injuries. So I'd rather them get this done now, rest him up, get him in the MRI, get him in the training room, get that oblique fixed out because we're going to need Gunnar Henderson every single game. Chase McDermott, that's another storyline that we have to talk about. He's began throwing once again, and we know he was injured throughout the spring training, and he had high hopes of making the opening day roster, in which sadly I don't think that will happen. Now, I think he will start in AAA, but he could also be in the bullpen. Another thing, the Baltimore's bullpen has struggled this spring training. Albert Suarez, ERA over 18. Not looking good for Big Al. Was he a one-hit wonder? I don't think so. I think these guys are just getting back to the flow. Remember, they haven't played live action baseball in a long time. So spring training is the time for guys to go through struggles and adjustments. I'd rather the guys right now go through struggles instead of going into the season on a good note in spring training and then starting the season off decreasing, struggling, not getting guys out, and that's really going to affect the bullpen. But talking about Félix Bautista, 85% striking guys out in live VP. Jackson Holliday is about to have a monster season in the MLB. Now, today's spring training game was not televised, but Jackson Holliday hit a 400 bomb over 108 miles per hour. I know we talked about this in the past videos I've had with you guys when I've talked about how Jackson Holliday looks this season. It looks like a grown man. That 15 pounds of muscle has really just brought him back to life to be that type of prospect that we all knew he was this whole time. He just had to develop into a young man, and that's what he's doing. Remember, one of the best prospects we've ever seen at the age of 17 and 18. And he hadn't really developed that strength in the majors. He had to go through struggles, but at the back end of last season, he looked very good. But this spring training, Jackson Holliday looks very good. And it's not just his offensive ability, he's dominating at second base. Double plays, quick hops, and the gappers. He's getting everything. He's getting guys out. Now, this is me personally. Don't say this is a hot take. I don't think it's a hot take because he has generational talent. I think Jackson Holliday is going to be an all-star this year. I think he's going to be on an all-MLB team. He's going to be the best second baseman in the MLB. Because if the Baltimore Orioles can get Jackson Holliday to be that good, forget about the AL East. World Series, here we come. Because Jackson Holliday is the future of this team. Jackson Holliday, Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson. Last year happened last year. If you want to evaluate Jackson Holliday, talk about what he's doing right now. And he looks like one of the best hitters on the Baltimore Orioles in spring training. So expect a breakout year coming from the kid. Well, that's all we have for today, folks. Thank you for joining Orioles Digest. I'm your host, Kam Brice. Like I said before, me and John will have a live stream coming very soon. I'm sorry it hasn't happened recently, but I've been very busy with work. But we'll get that to you guys soon. We're going to have more videos coming out on spring training, MLB storylines. Anything that you want to know, hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and come join Orioles Digest. From Orioles Digest, I'm your host, Kam Brice.